Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Louder Than Podcast. Tonight, our panel consists of Ferox, the invalid currently speaking. Eric, say hello.
Hello.
Chris.
Hi.
Taylor.
Hello.
And Pete.
Hey, how's it going? My first time here. Good to be on. Thank you very much, everyone.
And we're glad to have everyone here. Tonight, our three topics of discussion are as follows. Loading screens, memorable for any multitude of reasons, just explain them. Successors to games that you found memorable, but not the game franchise itself, just spiritual successors. And last but not least, movie genres you think need more love. And let's open up the floor on the first topic.
Okay,
Loading screens.
I have to say one thing first. So before we talk about the ones we love, I have to say these are there's like very niche parts of the game that no one really thinks about, but like they're so like nice when they're really well done. I love the game Divinity too, but they only have one loading screen. It's kind of boring. But there's a game I really like. The Endless series has a bunch of really good loading screens. They've really done really well done art, and it just makes it better to wait for the loading.
Yeah, I mean, okay, all of my picks that I wrote down were all interactive. Those are the ones that stuck out to me the most.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I really like just entertaining loading screens too, but I think that the best way to make it feel like you're not waiting forever is to give me the option to do something.
There's one of the Dragon Ball Z ones let you actually like spin around faster to gather Dragon Balls or something like that, I believe.
That was actually one of the ones I put on my list. Was Budokai 2 had Master Roshi like spinning around on a turtle shell, and you could just make him go wild. It was great. But yeah, and I mean, like, even if you don't do anything with it, you're given the option, and that just makes it feel like you're not waiting as long.
Yeah.
To me.
Was Bayonetta the game that let you practice fighting?
Bayonetta is one of the few games in the last few years that actually got you an interactive loading screen, at least in terms of the main gameplay format.
Mm-hmm.
I forget
That's another
who
one
owns
on my
the
list.
license to it, but there was basically a patent that prohibited other games from having interacting loading screens.
I am glad you brought that up, my friend, because that patent was Namco and it expired. So there is
Really?
Yup.
Like, actually,
And I have to find out what the logistics are and like when it's taking place or if it's already done. But there is a game jam for making loading screens in celebration of the patent expiring.
No way. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have the itch.io page, so I'll link it to you guys so we can maybe talk about some of the stuff from that at a later date.
Yeah, definitely. Pete, what did you want to say?
oh no, yeah. Just because you mentioned about Bayonetta having an interactive loading screen, so did Wonderful 101, which was ironically also a Platinum Games game directed by Hideki Kamiya.
Oh, what was the loading screen for that? I forget. I only played it a few times.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Bayonetta, where you could practice your combos and you could also practice your Unite morphs. And for anyone who doesn't know, in Wonderful 101, you basically control a team of up to 100 superheroes, and you can basically have them unite to build weapon constructs. Like there's Unite Fist for obviously for punching combos, a Unite Sword for sword, and Unite Gun for long range combat, whip, hammer. It's damn it, that reminded me I haven't played that game in a while. Now I want to replay it. But yeah, like
Best reason to own a Wii U.
Yeah,
After Bayonetta, of course.
like
The only reason.
the only two games I actually still have on it, along with Smash and some other games that I never play.
Chris, I hate to burst your bubble. You don't even need to own a Wii U for Bayonetta now. They're on Steam.
Oh.
Bayonetta 2.
You're
Oh,
right.
true.
Oh, okay.
And also you miss out on the Nintendo costumes if you don't have it on the Wii U.
Very true.
Oh, I didn't know there were extra costumes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like there's a level where you're standing on a jet as you're driven to Mount Thimbleventer, and you can wear this fox skin in it, and it transforms you into a like Star Fox themed plane,
What?
and it changes the music too.
That's awesome.
That is actually
Tay,
really
is
cool.
this a good time for me to remind you that we have a copy of Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Wii U?
Yeah.
I can confirm that level is basically very, very fire and lit.
And it's funny, you
gorgeous.
guys you brought up half of my list already. I had 4 really good ones, and Bayonetta and Budokai were on that.
I only have
That-
one left on
the
my
top.
list.
What is it?
Blood Dragon, Far Cry.
Oh,
Never played
what was
it.
the loading screen for that one? I forget.
Basically, it's
Another one I
taking the
only played a
piss
few
out of
times.
loading screens. It's like, loading screen, hint. Hints are displayed on the loading screen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Blood Dragon was a
didn't give
fun game.
fuck. I love Blood Dragon.
It's
That
over
sounds
the
like-
top in like almost a cringy way, but it's fun. It's so much fun.
Pete, what's the name of that one dude who makes like he's like bad just to be bad?
Which guy?
The guy who made Lollipop Chainsaw.
Suda 51.
51?
Yeah, he
Oh,
sounds.
Suit is the man.
He sounds like that loading screen sounds like something he would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, that'd be ironic. Can you tell?
No. He would make it a brick wall that you can barely win outside of supreme luck, and then say it's to prove a point.
Yeah.
And then you would need to have some sort of slow-mo sequence where you are climbing on top of a landscape that turns out to be your own girlfriend's giant corpse while she's possessed because you're trying to rescue her from the afterlife.
Seems
exactly.
legit.
I need that movie quote right now. What is it? You ever imagine just being with a giant woman?
One of my other picks is it's funny because the two left are Namco.
Wait, is one of yours Ridge Racer?
It is not, but it is for the same reason, I believe. It is Tekken because it lets you play
Oh.
Galaga.
Ridge Racer, the first one for PS1 was Galaxian.
Oh, but yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was like one of the shooters. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I didn't realize, because obviously I was a dumb kid, but I was like 8 or whatever, and we picked up a copy of Tekken, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to fight things. Let's do this. And I plugged it in, and booted up the PS1, and I'm like, oh wait, Galaga, this is cool. I didn't realize it was like to hide a loading screen.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that game was the basis for Namco Bandai's original patent on the loading screen restrictions.
I think.
Yeah, I
think
believe it
so.
was.
Yeah. And again on the Namco train, Namco Museum, the first 5 for PS1, they all had varying kinds of interactive loading screens. It would be stuff like one of them, it was Mappy the mouse would be like running around, and if you rotate the D-pad or the analog stick, he would just start like flying across the screen real fast. It was all stuff like that, like Pac-Man running back and forth, and then he would like bounce up and down. And again, it's nothing special, but it made you feel like you weren't literally sitting there doing nothing.
Well, it's like those little touches that make the game all that more memorable to you.
That too, yeah. You're seeing these loading screens. Well, not so much anymore, but you used to see these loading screens a lot more often. So
Yeah.
if they were something that stuck out, you'd be seeing them a lot.
Well, don't feel too bad for loading screens going extinct on some platforms. They are dominant on others. I mean, consoles.
Let me tell you, I bought something called, let's say it was called Night Terror, and it's a really cool like little runner game for the Nintendo Switch. This thing is styled like a Commodore game, and it's super basic in a good way. Like I can't say enough good things about the game. It has loading times. I'm like, it's a downloaded title. It's on my, system storage. It's not booting from any sort of removable media, and the whole thing is like, its aesthetic is like 30 years old. Why is it loading?
It's trying to be as authentically old school as possible.
Oh God!
It's to give you the extreme experience of being back in the day of the Commodore.
A sense of pride and nostalgia.
I know I'm picking from like the obvious subjects here, but if you want to have like if you want to pick a game that had like the worst loading screens and the worst like offender when it comes to loading, we can talk about Sonic 06, where like
Lord.
walking like 5 feet is like just grounds to have a loading screen.
To have a 30-second loading screen because it's no use.
Ugh. It's terrible. We shouldn't even go there. It's too easy.
I agree.
It is.
I agree because no other game is nearly as good as Sonic 06, and I am very completely super serious right now.
I'm serial here, guys.
Try to take the legs out from under a modern classic. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, I love a lot of things about that game, but if you're starting it up on an original PS4, then you may as well just hit start, go make a sandwich, then come back. Because you're going to be there for
it's
3 or
that
5
bad?
minutes. Like, it's only on initial startup that it's that bad, but it's that bad.
Hey Pete, I don't remember, but How was the loading screens for Okami?
Okami.
Were they like basic or were they?
They were cool because like for most of the load screens it would have like Amaterasu's paw prints go across the screen, but every now and then you could mash the X button and you can have their paw prints like cover the entire screen and you
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah you
That's
could
pretty fun.
and you could end up digging up like demon fangs
Yeah.
which are useful for like getting some cool items that could break the game.
Okay,
That's neat.
okay. I dig
Maybe
that.
This is coming out of left field, but isn't it weird that the load screens that are most memorable, or at least that seem most unique, are also the ones that take the least time? Like, how often do we get
Yeah.
stuck just staring at a rotating object from the game with a useless hint on the screen or a small tidbit of lore, and you're just waiting for everything to stop?
Yeah.
Like,
I actually
insert
just
Bethesda
thought-
here, any of the recent games.
Yeah. I thought of another game. It's not exactly a loading screen, but it was something that like stuck out to me as being really memorable from like being a young child in arcades. Daytona USA, like the very first one, when it was like I think it was when it was waiting for more entrants, like if there were multiple machines hooked up, little like almost kind of like micro machines, like sized cars of like the race cars that were in the game would like bounce around the screen, kind of like the DVD player like symbol, you know how like it bounces around the
Oh,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew that about the original Daytona.
Yeah,
games.
yeah. It's really
That's
cute.
awesome. Yeah, no, like when Chris, when you said like, oh, you know, the worst ones are always like the ones that take the longest and stuff. Dude, I remember, any of you guys ever play the PS2 sequel to Crash, like the first one that came out after 3? It was Wrath of Cortex, right?
I played it a little bit on the GameCube a long time ago, but I don't remember too much about it.
Which one's that?
Okay.
Like it's classic. Like it looks like it's a classic style of Crash. Like it like on the PS2 era, Crash had that whole new like sort of rugged looking rugged looking.
Like Polygon. It was the first one that was not super like polygonal, and it was a little smoother.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had, I'm not kidding, multiple minutes loading a level. And
that's on PS2, remember? Just-
Yeah. Guess what the loading screen is?
Loading.
Just
Dot.
Nope. It's just Crash falling down a hole.
Oh yeah.
That's literally, you just watch this motherfucker fall down a hole for like 5 minutes.
I've been falling for 13 minutes. Sorry, I had to throw a little Thor in there.
But and it was one of the most satisfying things in the world when I did the hard drive mod for my PS2. I have like my original copy of the game and everything, but you know, I tried booting it from the disc, and you know, I timed it, and I think it was literally something like 3 minutes to load the level or something like that. Then I booted the ISO from the hard drive. It took like 10 seconds. It was amazing. I never thought I would be like, wow, the Wrath of Cortex is already done loading? Like, no, that doesn't happen.
I'm guessing that's the Sony's ways of saying that maybe booting a game from a download file is not so bad compared to booting it from a disc.
Well, considering the hard drive mod was me sticking like a computer hard drive into my PS2 through the modem attacher, I don't think it's really official.
We can make it legit.
I don't care. It's my fan theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, fair enough. I can't argue that kind of
That's a
dedication.
theory.
Yeah,
A
right.
fan theory.
Do we want
Thanks
to
for
move on to
watching.
movie talk?
Wait, what's our other topic today?
Well,
The other
Gaming
topics we had
spiritual
were-
successors.
Wait, what?
Were you talking about like spiritual successors and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Successors to family.
Okay, so yeah, let's do movies next, and we'll move on to spiritual successors.
Yeah.
All right. So yay, movies! My specialty now. So anyway, Eric and I were talking about like certain movie genres that we'd like to see more coming out lately. Like in my opinion, I would like to see a lot more mystery thriller types, because the other day, well, first of all, who here has seen Blade Runner 2049?
Not
I haven't
yet.
seen it yet.
All right. So basically, the director of the new Blade Runner, Denis Villeneuve, I've been following his stuff, and he's basically becoming one of my favorite directors ever now. And he directed a movie in 2013 called Prisoners, and without giving too much away, is a pretty crazy thriller, and it's basically a mystery of finding two lost young girls, and it gets pretty nuts, and it got me thinking that I would really like seeing a lot more mystery thrillers coming out.
I really want to see a lot more cheesy, like, Chinese kung fu movies, like the ones where like you see like the train carry
I'm
people.
down with that, man. I'm very down with that.
It's like Crouching Tiger.
Yeah,
Hidden,
not opposed.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger Pete.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
We need some of that cheese up in here. Like that would make me happy.
Honestly, I feel like mystery movies like aren't
Underrepresented.
really a thing like
Yeah.
anymore. You know, I love the idea of any mystery media. Like, I love being like, oh man, what happened, and like where, like what are the clues, and who are they talking to now? And I think like even though it's the kind of movie that might lose its luster more than other movies after the first watch because the mystery is no longer a mystery, I don't think it's much different than any other kind of spoiler. And you know, I think it would still be fun to watch again, but I would love more mystery movies. I think that would be incredible.
I think
Actually,
the one we've come out with recently was probably Murder on the Orient Express.
yeah, that's actually
I
what I wanted to bring
wanted
up.
to
I heard
see
about
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw it, and my review of it is I wasn't angry that I saw it, but I probably would never watch it again. Like if I was on the plane, I would watch it.
Yeah. From what I've heard, Murder on the Orient Express sounds more like a matinee kind of movie you watch at half price earlier on in the day.
Oh,
Right.
But like,
it's disappointing because it looked really cool.
Yeah.
it was not bad. I don't know. I'm not really sure why people were so angry with it, but as long as I was happy with it.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah, I feel like there's really not a lot of that, like that mystery archetype.
definitely not. They're like, did you guys ever watch the anime Detective Conan?
Case closed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Case Closed. That was one of my favorites.
Fucking love that show. And
Apparently,
that's what I mean. Like, there's, you know, the characters and stuff are, you know, they're really important, and the interactions are, you know, really heartfelt at a lot of times. But you know, at the same time, there's still this case being solved. In every, like, it's kind of like their monster of the week is, you know, what case is the gang solving. So I thought it was really cool that they mixed all of that stuff together to make, you know, a compelling, you know, I guess you could call it a drama, mystery drama.
it's like almost like, yeah, it's like a mystery genre, kind of like sci-fi-ish, because he kind of was sent
Yeah,
back.
because he's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like it proves that, like, you know, you can go back and watch it, and even if you know how the mystery is solved, you still get like the charm of the show and the drama and everything. And
even
it
if
was
you know
also
where it's
funny.
going, that's something with, I can't come up with any examples off the top of my head. You guys are bigger mystery fans than I am, so maybe you do. The really good ones have a lot of details hidden in there, so you can look for them before you get to
Yes.
the conclusion and the
Yeah.
reveal.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movies are. I only remember the first one clearly, but if you went back to the like previous scenes, you do get mentions for all of those hints that were dropped right in the like final sequence.
Right. I didn't see those either. Big disclaimer for me for the rest of like this series is I love movies, but I'm horrible at watching them. So you're gonna hear a lot of, yeah, that looked cool, I never saw it. But yeah, no, I heard the Sherlock Holmes movies are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just like that's something you first go on.
No, I wasn't really going to say much. I was just going to say that I did see the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movie back in 2010-ish when it first came out, and I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, I kind of want there to be a different detective. Like, Sherlock is, like, the most well-known.
Oh no, I totally agree.
Yeah, like, can we just get, like, don't get me wrong, I like Sherlock Holmes. He's a classic, but at the same time, can we get, like, a new detective that's really good?
Well, okay,
Benedict
so I've seen
Cumberbatch
my
has to
share.
eat 3 times a year. Come on.
I've seen my share of Bond films. I've seen, like, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a few, and I really like James Bond.
Have you seen
interested-
Kingsman?
I'm actually getting to that.
Okay. Go for
No,
it.
I'm really glad you're on. No, you're on the same track as me, so I dig it. I really enjoy James Bond, but of course, like you said, you want more than just the big kid that stomping all over the playground. This is my swamp. But
It's gonna be all Oga soon.
yeah.
Why did Mike Myers play James Bond?
Well, you see, that's the remake they're not telling you about. It's in the works.
Oh yeah, that was Shrek 4. My bad.
Exactly. No, the 4D experience they're doing at Universal now. It's just trust me, go see it. It's Bond. It's just Bond.
Yes.
Swamp sludge, shaken, not stirred.
But yeah. So I saw the Kingsman movies, and I was like, holy shit, this is really cool, and it scratches that same kind of itch that the Bond movies do. The over-the-top action, the snarky dialogue, except it's a little less focused on one person and more, them as a spy group, an
And
organization.
It doesn't really take itself that seriously either. Like it
Yeah.
does, but
No, it does not. Yeah, I agree.
like it does it just enough.
I've heard that the first Kingsman was really good. It's been on my watch list for quite some time. I say as I add another 30 movies to my watch list every single day. But I heard that's my problem with movies is that I watch one I really like, and I have another 20 downloaded I have to get to. Then I find
Dude, that's
another
just
one.
media in general. Like, don't even feel bad. I mean, that's everything.
But but as I was saying, but I did hear that the second Kingsman wasn't nearly as good. I heard it was just okay.
I loved
I
it.
saw the second one first, and then I went home and watched the first one soon after. I haven't finished the first one yet because I was watching it with a friend, and he had to leave and stuff. So, but I saw like about 3/4 of it, and I gotta say they're both good in their own regard.
Yeah.
I did like 2 a little better for certain reasons. I liked the aesthetic of the villain a little better, and I liked the action scenes, some of them in their own unique way, a little more. But I mean, they're both quality films, and I think it's really cool. When we were leaving the theater, I looked at Taylor and our friend Andrew, and I was like, "This is really nice. Like, James Bond isn't the only spy series."
I honestly loved both of them. I thought they were both
They're
great
great movies. I think anyway. Yeah, if you don't take them too seriously.
Also, spoilers.
Everyone dies.
What was the name of the what? Oh my god, who was a singer?
Oh, Elton.
Elton John was amazing in the movie.
He was.
Oh, that was
He
incredible.
Dude,
We
I was
won't
like,
spoil anything past that, but Elton John is in the second Kingsman, and
he's
his
a-
role is not expected.
we will say he's a complete savage. That's all I'll say.
Dude, he was so great in that movie. He's great in general, and that just kind of like proves it.
Yeah,
But the question is, does he kill 2 guys with a pencil?
he probably could.
Don't worry about it.
With a fucking pencil.
I don't know what other genres are you guys fond of that you don't feel get represented. Okay, either not enough, or I'll also consider if you think that there are movies in the genre, but they're usually terrible.
Well, horror would be easy one. We need more
I was about to
psychological.
say true R-rated horror movies
Yep.
because like pretty much everything in theaters either sucks or just gets rated PG-13 and like it's not even worth it.
I think the last good horror movie I saw was actually Annabelle.
Yeah, Annabelle Creation. That was
Surprisingly good.
I thought it was pretty okay.
I
don't
feel like
think
everybody's
I
obsessed
didn't
with
see
ghosts
those.
now. Like that's the thing. I went to
Yeah.
see do you guys remember that movie You're Next?
No.
Sounds familiar, but I can't say I've seen it.
Unless I'm fucking up the title, which I really hope I'm not. It's
Tag, you're
it's
next.
the movie about like the family dinner party, and then like a group of people in masks, animal masks, come in and like kill
Oh,
the entire
yeah.
family.
Or something.
Sounds like The Purge.
It sounds Bioshocky.
It's very Hotline Miami, if anything. Hold
Would
on.
you kindly tell me more so I can look up the title?
I'm pretty sure you have the title right.
I'm looking it up now. Hold on. Your Next movie. Yep, it was Your Next. So yeah, and it was absolutely a horror movie. It was not a thriller. Like, I mean, maybe some people, yeah, okay, it's classified as thriller / horror, and I can see that. but like it is a slasher flick, but it's a really sadistic one because they didn't say like, oh, he's this immortal guy who, you know, like I fucking love Friday the 13th. Jason's one of my favorite movie villains of all time. But, you know, you can't kill him and ooh, he's back and I know you stabbed him, but fucking lightning got him and now he's back. I don't know.
The god of lightning.
Yeah, this is just like really evil people doing awful things to a family. Like that's fucking horror that I don't see very often.
Yeah, like the genre I'm not a big fan of is gore porn.
Yeah, like Eric and I talk about
I
this
think it
every
has
now
its spot, but I don't blame people for not liking it. You know, I'm no sicko that's like, oh, you don't like gore? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, like that kind of reminds me like not long ago when I was trying to look up some of the most graphic and horrific explicit movies of all time, and I did find some like I do feel like there's a time and place for gore porn and something like that. Of course. Like there's some movies that kind of sound like they're gore porn if you describe them. Like, has anyone here heard of Ichi the Killer, which is based off a manga?
Yes, I'm very familiar that it exists, and it's on my long list.
Like I've heard that it's supposed to be based off a very graphic manga, but some of these scenes in the movie look almost cartoony, with how graphic they are. But at the same time, it kind of looks fun though. Like it looks like it would be a fun watch, just not something you're supposed to be thinking too deeply about. But
well, and that's kind of how I felt about some of the scenes in Your Next. Like they're really fucking gory, but it's also like it's horrific. You know, it's not just oh look blood.
Well, and one of the reasons why, like, one of the biggest problems I have with, like, all these, you know, these horror movies, they're just, like, pumping out like crazy, is that, like, the gore and, like, the blood and everything becomes so, like, there's so much of it that it becomes, like, not even scary anymore.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said. I don't know if there's a name for that, like, concept, but I feel like there might be. Just of, like, you know, too much of, you know, a concept in a media property, just it makes it kind of worthless.
Who can we thank for that?
Context of the story and what?
Overexposure, oversaturation.
Oversaturation.
Thank you. I knew I was
like,
missing something.
It's even with like they're still trying to continue the Saw series, and it's like not only have we like seen it all like 100 times already.
They're on
like,
episode 8 or 9 or something. It's been done.
Yeah, and like everything in it, like all the traps and everything, like it's not remotely scary at all anymore.
Actually, what I wanted to ask was, is Saw the movie we have to thank for making that mainstream?
I would say so. Saw definitely was like the first really mainstream one, and then I think Hostel was a thing for like 2 minutes.
Hostel is the reason why we don't go get rooms in Europe.
I liked the Hostel movies. I thought they were really like. I
mean,
never
again, saw them.
They are gore porn. That is their place, and if you don't like just gore for the sake of weird torture gore, like you're not.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you, etc. But you know it.
Sorry,
it was absolutely gore. No, it's okay. It was just absolutely gore porn, and that's really like it. But it was fun gore porn.
But now if you want to see a movie that I consider to be technically it was part of a movement in French cinema called New Wave of French Extremity.
New Wave of British heavy metal.
Yes, not to be confused with its cousin. but like in the late 2000s, like around 2008, 2009, France was pumping out a lot of intense horror movies that had a higher emphasis on graphic violence, but a lot of them still had an interesting concept, interesting stories. This one movie I saw called Martyrs, which is very fucking graphic and very has a huge emphasis on torture, but the story is. It's been a while since I saw it, but the story really kept me watching till the very end, and the end was a big mindfuck, and like I was not expecting it at all. It was like
see, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's like it's a type of twist ending that I would have expected in a psychological thriller, and at the same time, I could not see it coming at all, and I was like, holy Moses.
See, one movie that came out of nowhere with all the gore was Mother.
Oh yeah, that one.
That came out of left field.
I heard about that being like really, really bizarre.
It was
the
bizarre.
trailer definitely intrigued me, but I never got around to seeing it, just like everything else.
Yep.
How do you put it, Eric? The whole thing is like an allegory?
Yeah, the whole thing is like a religious allegory.
Like around, when it came out, there was a whole lot of controversy. Like people were calling it like a very hardcore anti-Christian movie, but it's it's a bit more nuanced than that. And in case of anyone here who hasn't seen it, I don't really, it's something you can't spoil anything. So
Yeah.
so let's just put out there. But I will say, but the whole movie is an allegory, and I personally really liked it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good movie, but it's not, okay, 100% not for everyone. Like, you're either gonna like it or not like it. That's the best way to put it.
Okay. You know, I felt Antichrist was like that.
Antichrist, isn't that the one with Willem Dafoe and directed by Lars von Trier?
Yep.
Yeah. That's I've been needing. Excuse me. I've been needing to see that one forever because I've heard.
Drop me a line if you watch it. I want to know what you think of it.
All right. Sure. I'll put that to my watch list along with these other 700 movies I have to see this week.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know, of course, but
This guy still needs to see Archer.
Yes,
like any like any good backlog though, I'm sure it shifts around. So
Like it depends. Just depends on what I'm in the mood for, but I will definitely put that in mind because I've heard that's a very artsy sort of out there kind of movie, which I'm into.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to ask you actually. So since you were on the topic of like weird French movies with a lot of like violence but also depth, would you consider? And I didn't see the movie, so if this is way off, I'm sorry. My friend told me a while ago about this movie about like a girl who's pregnant and her baby is like I don't think it's the devil, but it's evil or something.
Wait, did you say this was an older movie?
No, it's a French movie.
French movie. It sounds.
Oh.
It sounds familiar.
It's not brand new, but
it sounds familiar. Like if I looked it up, I probably could stumble upon it, but I can't think of any titles off the top of my head right now.
no, that's fine. I was just wondering if it stood out in your mind, like if you saw it or something. I heard that was a really weird movie because again, you know, like she's pregnant, it has to do with her baby, and like there's gore related to that and stuff like that. And, you know, it's a little weird and out there because it's a baby. We're not talking just like adults here.
That sounds like something I would have stumbled across when I was looking for those sort of movies. But okay, all right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really want to try to find out what movie that was, like because now I'm interested.
This is just a guess based on the title. Is it Rosemary's Baby?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, it was a French film. Like you have to watch it with subtitles and stuff.
Now, when
Oh,
you say
so
French,
classy, you say.
Exactly, sophisticated.
Pinky
Possessed
up.
baguettes. Gotcha.
It's called
Wasn't it the French
baguettes.
director who made Rubber?
What is
Oh,
he?
Robert.
Anton
Yeah.
Duguay or something?
wait, what?
There was a movie called Rubber. It's about a possessed tire, and it's a monster movie.
I love that movie.
Wait. It's called Rubber, and it's about a possessed monster tire. I'm sorry, possessed
Not even
tire.
No,
monster
it's a
truck
car
just a
tire that
tire.
goes around killing everyone. Like
This sounds
I've
like a
never seen it
masterpiece.
myself, but
It's
I hear
fantastic.
it's wonderful.
I can tell just from that description that it's the type of movie that I would love.
Yes. Oh my god.
You know, I don't know necessarily what I would say about this concept being underrepresented, but I saw a movie called Wild Hunt. Have any of you seen it?
Nope.
Sounds familiar.
I think it was an indie film. It was made in Canada, but it had the weirdest but greatest premise, where it starts out as a bunch of people LARPing, in like a forest and stuff, but they're like really serious. They have like fortresses and obviously the costumes and weapons and stuff, but it starts to go too far. And I won't spoil anything, obviously, but I like the idea that they took what seems like a normally pretty mundane, like, you know, people role playing and stuff, okay, haha, but they turned it into like a really dark and edgy thriller.
That sounds kind of familiar, though.
Insert Cabin in the Woods here.
Yeah.
Have you guys
that
seen
movie
Cabin
was-
Fever?
Cabin Fever's incredible in that it's fucking
It
garbage.
freaks me out. Oh my god, dude. There's just the idea of like a virus in the water that makes you like your skin fall off. Freaks me out so much.
Yeah. I bought that at a GameStop for $5 like years ago, and I don't regret my purchase.
Worth.
No. To be honest, though, I don't think it's there was any point to talk about horror thrillers in the past recent years when the masterpiece of the mall amusement has already been released. So
Yes. Mall amusement.
Oh,
Have you seen
God.
that?
No.
No, what is it?
pretty much a really like.
It's supposed to be an anthology of 3 stories that are actually connected by them being the same bad guy, but it is like,
Really not put together well.
I love that idea.
yeah, good idea. Just it's just very, very bad execution. It's like trying to guillotine someone by chopping their legs off
It's like-
instead of their head.
It's like, okay,
Oh.
we'll just say like it was put like on the shelves like within the studio for I think like 3 years or 4 years before they actually
over a year,
released
at
it.
least over a year before they released it direct to video because they realized it wouldn't have any sort of chance in the box office.
Of course.
So the struggles were real.
Another genre that I actually have a really big love for if it's done right is multiple viewpoint movies.
Oh,
any
love
kind-
that
oh,
idea.
I
Yeah.
love it. Like finding out what's happening behind the scenes and stuff. I know Tarantino's a big example of that.
Yeah.
You know, with a lot of his movies being alternate, like having scenes where you see what one character is doing while another character was doing something else, and gives you totally new context for a scene and stuff. But I love that idea so
Oh yeah,
much.
that reminds me of a movie called Rashomon, directed by Akira Kurosawa. It was like a 50s movie that takes place in the samurai era, and the crime takes place, and that's exactly what happens. It had the robber's perspective, the housekeeper's perspective, witness perspective, and basically everyone else until the very end. Like I haven't seen it yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
What's it called?
It's called Rashomon. It's the same guy who directed Yojimbo, Sanjuro, Seven
okay.
Samurai, and Throne of Blood.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a movie, but have you heard of the anime called Boogie Pop Phantom?
Boogie Pop Phantom?
Yeah.
I
So
don't think so.
it's like a niche anime that came out a long time ago. Not a long time
You've
ago.
never
I mean,
heard of it.
like, you nerds. So it came out like 10 years ago, I believe, or something like that. It was a while ago, and it pretty much goes with the idea where it shows like it has one. The first episode shows like one character, and just havoc's going on, like crazy shit's going on to the left or right, all that stuff. See people running around, just going insane. And with every episode, it goes for the same like event, but through a different person's perspective. And they run into like the first character, so you're like, oh, that's why that character was freaking out that way. Or
Oh,
wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of animes actually do that concept, and I really like that because I think it's criminally underrated.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to pull off though if you're into it.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why people don't do it very often. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I like it a lot.
Chris, we should like someday, if we're ever gonna do another like movie episode, you should invite Brandon over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, your boy's gonna have some input.
Man himself.
But yeah, no, I mean for how much I don't watch movies, I promise I fucking love movies. I just need to watch them more.
Who's time for that, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm over here playing video games. I don't got time for movies.
And I'm just sitting here, just not sleeping, binging watching shows on Netflix.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, do you guys have any more movie input?
Transformers 2: Revenge of the Fallen is the best movie of all time, and I'm only.
All right, changing subjects. Woo! Yeah, yeah, we're done with that one.
And the only way it could be better if it was directed by Zack Snyder.
No, stop.
Zack Snyder.
Oh,
Too far? Or not far enough?
Not
we're
far
off the
enough.
air. We're done for. We're shut down. If we were sponsored, we'd be done.
Well, good thing we're not sponsored.
Ugh.
But by the way, if you want to sponsor us, you know.
The lines are open. Guys.
The lines are open. We've been sitting here the whole time. Just waiting
Louder
for
than
you.
telethon.
Yep. I don't have my phone plugged in, but you know, it's the thought that counts.
Oh, good. So spiritual successors to video game franchises. I love this topic because I love the idea that, hey, you're doing more of a game I like, but not necessarily forcing a sequel.
So I'm not sure if you count this as a spiritual successor. Okami
Try me.
Den.
I think Okami Den is an outright sequel or spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
I
what I
agree.
know about Okami Den, I haven't played the series, but I would call that more of a sequel.
Okay. I do love that game very much so though.
It's one of my favorites
absolutely.
as well.
But okay, so Now we got that settled. My favorite spiritual successor. Oh, this is a hard one.
Oh, dude, I got a list of 2, 4, 6. I have 8 to talk about. So
No, you start
we're
off.
good, baby. Okay. Well, okay. I want to start because I don't have any personal connection to this one, but I found it to be a very odd one. Have you guys ever heard of a strategy game like from I think it was like the mid 90s, not the early 90s, called Herzog?
No.
Sounds familiar.
It sounds like an old like cheesy movie though.
I know, right? Well, the one you would be most likely as the average young adult, or no, I'm sorry, young child, the opposite, in like the 90s to hear about would have been Herzog's Vi, because it came out on the Genesis. And apparently, you know, it's a real-time strategy game, or I think it's real-time, but it's some kind of very complicated strategy game, is the point. Guess what game borrows a lot of mechanics from it?
What?
Guilty Gear 2 Overture.
Oh, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's
Damn.
apparently got RTS and like MOBA like tendencies to it. I think it came out for like, oh, that was either one of the Xbox PS2 ones or 360. But yeah, apparently it owes most of its design to the Herzog strategy games. And as we all know, Guilty Gear is a 2D fighter. So
Wait, you're talking about the Guilty Gear game that was like a overworld game?
I think so, yes. I never
Okay.
played it personally, so
I
I can't
believe
really
I've-
comment.
I think I
I
played
play all
it.
the fighters.
It was awkward, I think, if I remember correctly.
I definitely want to play it. I like that they go there in Guilty Gear. They do weird spin-offs. There's a beat 'em up that is supposedly actually pretty playable, and I love beat 'em ups. I'm obviously playing one right now. But yeah, apparently it's technically like a spiritual successor to Herzog, which is like incredibly weird for a 2D fighting franchise. Because at least like, you know, a beat 'em up, like it makes sense. Because it's still you're like, it's like a fighting game, but you're, you know, beating up enemies instead of fighting a one-on-one opponent or something.
Well, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I had something to say.
That's me and every single
We're
moment of
harnessing
my
it.
existence.
Yeah, it was hard to say, but like halfway through the end of your part, I was like, I got distracted.
All right, Eric, my time to talk. Let's do this. Oh, I forget.
Yeah, never mind. You keep going then.
Last line of the episode. Don't fuck it up.
No.
R.I.P.
But yeah, I as far as starting out with one that I actually, you know and play, weirdly enough, the game I am playing, and I did not plan this, I swear to God, is a spiritual successor. I'm playing Code of Princess. It's a beat 'em up that came out for the DS and then weirdly got ported to the PC. But it's a good port. I mean, it's incredibly playable. And you can actually you can change the screen mode. I wonder if you can do it in game. Yeah, you can have the two screens. If anybody's on my stream, you can see it. You can have the DS double screen layout on screen with like extra stats and stuff. But it's actually a spiritual sequel to the Sega Saturn game Guardian Heroes, which was a beat 'em up that was really, really well received because it had RPG elements. So like you would level up your characters, get them new armor and weapon builds and stuff. You can unlock a bunch of new characters to play as. So it took something that was generally very arcadey, the beat 'em up, and it made it worth investing time into. And it was really like hundreds of dollars rare for the Saturn. Still is, I believe, but it got a 360 digital release.
Does the Saturn have like a bunch of like $600 games?
Dude, it has Dragon Force. It has, and yes, the band is supposedly named after the game. Like,
Really?
On purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a strategy game that's supposed to be really fucking good too. Dragon Force. There's a couple Shining Force games I think on it that command really high prices. Guardian Heroes. The Dragoon games. Shit, I think there's a few more, but like just those four alone, it's thousands of dollars in games. Like,
I can dig that.
mm-hmm. Do any of you guys have input, or am I gonna like? do I rule this topic? This is my
You might
domain.
have.
I got one. A really bad spiritual successor that was recent. Might be number 9.
Oh, that one.
Oh God, no!
No,
I contributed a high amount of money to that game in good faith because I'm a Mega Man fan.
Oh, I just like brought all the bad
how's it
memories.
feel for the game to be about as long as the end credits were?
Can I be brutally honest with you? I kickstarted it and I haven't played it yet. I'm so scared. I've actually put it, like, every time I'm like, Chris, today's the day. I'm like, no, I'm scared. I don't want it.
I don't wanna.
I don't want it.
You
man.
can't make me, Mom.
Yeah, but you paid for it. You're gonna play it. Yeah, like hell I am. Dude, I'm actually like, and you know what? I'm not bitter to the point where it's like, there's no way I'll enjoy it. Maybe I'll have fun with it and it just won't be the game we wanted it to be, but I'll find enjoyment. I'm not a picky, asshole person who's like, I hate having fun. Whatever thing sucks. Like,
That's me right there.
Ideally, I really want to fucking have fun with this game, but I'm so scared. So I will play it, but it is just so low on my list. And then, ironically enough, they made Gunvolt, and it's like supposedly the spin-off series to Mighty Number 9, and it's like incredible from all accounts.
Really?
Everyone says the Gunvolt series is so good. Yeah, man. Like, honestly, check it out. There's like 2 or 3 games, I think. They're PC and DS mainly, if I recall. I have them on PC again. Like, got them all in bundles and shit. Never played them because Gunvolt is just on my backlog. I'm not scared of that one. But man, Mighty Number 9. I know it's a meme, but like, man, I'm one of the people who got suckered. I believed.
R.I.P.
That's why you get you turkey.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, right?
Rest in peace, your wallet.
At least
my hopes and dreams for Mega Man.
At least he didn't get like as she as guys who funded was it Cheetah Men.
Oh my!
Cheetah Man though.
Oh my
That's
god!
my jam. I bumped the trap remix to that on a fucking like regular basis that I'm not really comfortable with.
Oh, dude, do you remember that the whole thing that went down with that?
Oh god!
Not really, actually, and I usually hear about weird Cheetahman related goings on.
Okay, all right. So like sometime around 2012ish or so, the Angry Video Game Nerd was apparently partnered up with the creator of Action 52 and Cheetahman to re-release the game, and
What?
Excuse me?
yeah,
Again, how did I not hear? They're supposed to mail me a memo when shit like this happens.
Yeah,
I didn't
dude,
get a
it's
memo.
big.
I'm honestly surprised you haven't heard of it because it was kind of a huge deal at the time because the creator did a fundraiser and there was this whole controversy because the AVGN was basically already a multimillionaire at this point through his videos and
Was he really that
people-
rich?
Yeah, he was a multimillionaire at that point.
Wow.
And then people were wondering why he didn't just do it because we were all skeptical about it and when the game came out, guess what? It was even worse than the Action 52 version of Cheetah Men.
Did you want it to be good? Like, I mean, okay, I don't know James Rolfe personally, but from all accounts that I've ever heard, he's a stand-up dude. And, like, I don't imagine he was trying to, like, use Cheetah Men of all things to make more millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he kind of like doubled down on it though. He's like, yeah, guys, it's gonna be great. Don't worry, give us more money for it. But
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, this is a while ago.
Yeah, this was wild. Yeah. What happened was that like he was insistent on it being good, and like a lot of people who were speaking out against it were basically silenced for it. And when it came out and people realized it was a huge piece of shit, then he started deleting all his videos about it and tried to act like nothing happened.
Apparently
That's weird.
That is weird.
They added more bugs into it than there were in the original version. Which, like,
It's
how's that
a
even possible?
feature. It's a goddamn. How many times do I have to tell you, motherfuckers? It's not a bug.
It's a feature.
No, that is kind of shady, though. Like, I mean, nothing against James. I'm just calling it as I see it.
Uh-huh.
I have to ditch for like 5 minutes. I will be right back.
Okay.
Wow, we're getting banned here.
You're gonna miss just the next game topic. That's okay.
Okay.
Also, apologies if I've been a bit of a ruckus here. I'm trying to mute myself so I'm not sneezing and coughing into the mic.
Oh no, that's fine.
That's good. We actually want full HD quality if you're sneezing and coughing.
We want to be able to release an ASMR collection of everyone's sound effects, including that.
I want to feel like I'm catching
Yeah.
the germs,
Yeah,
man.
I want to actually get sick from your coughs.
No actual viruses.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Oh, that's lame.
Get
Yeah,
out here.
mute that shit.
Yeah, ew.
Okay, so let's see. Oh man, so many good fucking games on my list. I'm so excited about
All right, keep going, keep going.
You prepped way more than I did.
it. Okay, so one of the next ones is actually kind of weird. Have you guys ever played Joe and Mac?
No.
No, I haven't heard. I can't say I've heard of that, to be honest.
Oh man. Oh. Okay.
Oh,
well,
boy.
basically, it's oh boy. It's an action game for the Super Nintendo, and
Okay.
I think there was like an arcade version of it or something. I mean, Data East had a weird time with home versions and arcade versions and ports and stuff. I kind of can't always keep them straight off the top of my head, but basically, it was a platformer about cavemen. Really cool game. And then Congo's Caper came out. And in America, it was just Congo's Caper. And we did have Joe and Mac, keep in mind. It did come to America. Congo's Caper comes out, and it's just called Congo's Caper. But in Japan, it's called Joe and Mac 2. And with some, like, subtitle I forget. I looked it up before the show. To make sure I was getting my years right. And the order right. And yeah, it's supposed to be, like, a spiritual, like, partner to Joe and Mac, but not really a sequel. And then Joe and Mac got a sequel after that.
Okay.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it was like it sounds very roundabout.
Yeah. Though, if I
It's a sequel, but it's not a sequel. But but we're gonna get a sequel. But this isn't the sequel.
It sounds like a sequel to the prequel.
prequel to the sequel, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pre-sequel, if you will.
So
So
basically,
what I'm getting
qual.
at this is
It's a qual.
between the Buried and Me writing the Borderlands pre-sequel soundtrack.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. Now he's gone.
Oh me? Yeah. No. Fuck y'all. But yeah, like it plays very similarly. Like it is an action platformer. You know, you hit cavemen with a club and stuff. You stun them, and then like, you know, there's a. Let me think. I think there's princesses in trouble in both of them. You know, with Super Nintendo, it was a different time. And I don't know
It was a
why they
dark
didn't just
time.
like. What?
I was just gonna try to combine a Star Wars reference in there. Never mind me.
This isn't the princess you're looking for,
Yeah.
or this is the castle you're looking for.
I
The
mean,
one you're looking for
Wait a
wears
minute, wait.
Cinnabons in her hair and has a coke nail.
oh, poor
I love
Carrie.
Carrie Fisher. I mean
No,
that
me
with all
too.
the-
Me too. She knew how to party. But also, are we really just gonna ignore like the droids are in another castle? These are not the princesses you were looking for. Like,
Strangled by
that-
her own bra, drowned in moonlight. I remember.
Guys, I know it's slightly off topic, but
No, go for it.
Pete, what's the name of that one Viking game that was like super hard? It was like one mini Viking, one big fat one.
Asterix and
Lo-
Obelix.
That game was fire.
Oh shit, dude. For comic strip characters, they had some good video games. I'm not even being funny. Like,
Hard as hell, but really good.
Yeah. Like I heard that there was a major comic series with them, and there was also like a whole bunch of like TV shows and movies with them, and I've always wanted to check them out, but I never got around to it.
yeah, no, I heard that. I think it was one of the Game Boy Advance games that's supposed to be really good, actually. And it actually has examples of like 3D on the system, which is, you know, also really bizarre.
Witchcraft. It must be burnt.
Yeah, it's witchcraft and wizardry.
Must be Burford's beliefs, of course.
But yeah, no, for like, you know, Saturday morning comic book or comic strip characters, they're actually pretty decent games.
Yeah, no. The game you were just talking about, the cavemen, kind of remind me of those those guys.
I could see that. I could see it, but if they were in like 3D and, you know, Vikings.
Yeah, but that actually reminds me. That actually reminds me of another game for the Sega Genesis, Chuck Rock. So,
Yes!
Yeah, Chuck Rock 2. Son of
Chuck
Chuck.
Rock! I love that game. I had that shit for the Sega CD because I was the only person in the fucking state who owned a Sega CD.
You like? I didn't know they were sold in America.
I didn't know they were sold.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, both of you, eat shit. I love my Sega CD. Okay.
Yeah, Sonic CD. What else? Night Watcher, or whatever that one
Night
Stalker
Trap,
game.
the game I just shamelessly bought the HD remaster to. Yeah, what of it?
Weirdo. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Hey, I mean, it was my money to spend how I chose, and I chose to spend it weirdly.
I do not blame you.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's actually really funny. I was playing through it with a friend, and we were co-oping it. I had a walkthrough open, and that game, dude, when you know what you're doing, that game is like fucking impossible.
Wait, you know what you're doing?
Yes. Yeah, like okay, me and my friend Pete, who I invited to the group, other Pete, he was playing it on stream, and remember, we were on 0 delay. I told you my friend's streams are on Mixer. So we were ready to go, and I had timestamps on which cameras to switch to and everything. He still fucked up a couple things. I couldn't believe it. It's so hard. There's you have to switch cameras and activate traps sometimes 3 in a row within a span of 4 seconds.
What are we talking about?
Night Trap. Remember when me and Pete were
Oh my god.
we had a walkthrough and it was still fucking impossible.
The game is just, it's so it's the epitome of nostalgia. Even if you didn't play it as a kid,
It's
just
nostalgia. It's VHS,
Yeah.
PVM security camera monitors,
Wait, did the nerd play this game? It sounds so familiar.
AVGN?
Well, he did a
Possible?
Sega CD series or episode or
yeah,
whatever.
he did a long time ago. I remember him talking about it. That's actually how I first heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sega CD had good games. I mean, look, I love it, but it was a flop in many ways.
And a
I'm
half.
Well,
Yeah, and a
wait,
half.
just one question. Good game, as in plural?
Yeah. Okay, no. Do you want me to go off on my fucking Sega CD tangent right now?
Peace
I'll
spitting
fucking
some
do
hot
it.
fire on you, dude.
I'll do it. Well, no, you know
We're
what?
2 or 3 games deep on this topic.
Wait, excuse me.
And we,
Excuse me.
and we didn't even get to Sonic CD, the one game that people actually know about the existence of.
Sonic CD has the best intro song of all time.
Sonic.
Anyone is welcome to step up and fight me on these, okay? Okay.
I'm ready to
Okay.
throw down.
And these are the ones I'm confident on. There's others that I remember playing, but I don't remember how good or bad they were, so I'll stick to the safe ones. Fucking Afterburner 3. Let's see. Yeah, Brutal's okay, but it's kind of shit. Chuck Rock 2.
Son of Chuck.
Let's see. Double Switch.
Chuck Rock, the Chuck and Ning.
Yes. Dungeon Explorer, Dungeon Master 2,
I actually never played
Earthworm
Dungeon
Jim
Master.
Special Edition.
Oh,
is a good
yeah.
game. Earthworm Jim Special Edition. Yeah, see.
Do you remember
know.
this? Wait, is that the one with the submarine?
Oh
Level?
god, I remember that
Yeah.
level.
Oh god,
Yeah,
dude,
that's the first one.
The submarine level. Oh my lord.
Yeah, I still have
Echo the
nightmares.
Dolphin. Echo
Oh
the
my
Dolphin
god,
2.
yes. Okay.
Tides of Time, yeah. And granted, I know that some of these are remasters and that doesn't super count for anything, but I'm more willing to look at remasters in this context than in a modern context because there's a huge difference between cartridge and CD, so if they smooth things out and add some better audio and a couple extra stages, that could really make a huge difference. So I'm counting these in my favor here. Fight me on it. Eye of the Beholder, Eternal Champions, Let's see. Final Fight CD,
Pete,
Flashback.
Get your boxing gloves. We have a fight on our hands.
Dude, I'm not done. I'm not fucking done. Heart of the Alien, Hook. Hook was incredible. Let's see. Jurassic Park. Was a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
fun.
that was really good.
Kyle Flying Squadron, fucking Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2, Lords of Thunder, the first 2 Lunar RPGs, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch Make My Video. You
What?
could make your
Oh my
own Marky Mark video. This was the epitome of digital entertainment, my friends.
This was the future.
It had a really good version of Mickey Mania, Might and Magic 3. It had a pretty good version of NBA Jam. It had Panic. It had Pitfall. It had Popful Mail. It had Prince of Persia. Do I even need to fucking keep going? You're wrong. Sega CD is great.
There's Prince of Persia on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh.
And it had really good music, like authentic sitar and everything. Like,
Okay, cool. The last Prince of Persia game I played was the weird Sands of Time one.
Sense of Time was amazing. I will fight you on.
Man, it's a very aggressive day.
This is a confrontational episode.
Yeah. Right?
You're a confrontational episode.
Next episode is gonna be in a boxing rink.
Yeah.
So basically, next episode is going to be the Uwe Boll episode.
Yes. Did you hear about that?
There's news about him. I don't want there to be news about him. I don't like him.
It's kind of old news. So for people to know, this is a dude who makes like who made the old like
Very bad video game movies.
Yeah. So
Wait. I'd like to clarify. He makes bad video game movies literally just to get grants from the government.
Movie maker. Let's be clear.
That's actually the reason.
He gets sponsorships from the German government to make his movies.
So sad.
Yep.
Such a waste.
100%.
For government subsidizing Uwe Boll, I think we've lost as far as the state goes.
Yep. Time to reset everything.
Anyway,
RIP.
continue.
I don't
News
want to live on
about
this planet anymore.
asshole.
Oh well, it's not really news. But he actually boxed one of his critics. He's like, "Oh, you really think I'm bad? Let's get into a fight." Yeah.
What?
Wait.
Did he lose? Tell me he
won.
lost.
I think he won. Yeah.
Oh,
Uwe Boll was boxing against people who had no idea what they were doing. He was just taking this chance to literally beat up on his critics.
what the
Yeah,
shit?
I want to emphasize this doesn't prove anything that he won, but I just really wanted him to get his ass kicked
Oh,
in this
yeah.
context. I don't advocate like violence just because you don't like somebody, but when he's picking the fight,
No, when you're asking for it.
yeah, like,
I do. Did you see Blood Rain?
dude, that's valid. That's really fucking valid. He turned House of the Dead into a teen party horror movie.
I was
Like,
gonna say, like, if somebody ever like steps up to the plate and makes a truly like good House of the Dead movie,
right?
I
And I'm
will.
sorry,
I might
I
actually
love-
cry.
I love the bad dialogue in the games, but you can't do it. You gotta fix it.
No, what we really need is a Typing of the Dead movie.
Oh man, the Dreamcast keyboards and like the Dreamcast
Yeah.
backpacks.
We
Hell
need
yeah.
the master hacker.
The story from the perspective of a scriptwriter under the gun from Uwe Boll, and if he doesn't finish writing the movie in time, he has to box.
Oh, I like this twist.
We need like the 20.
Wait. Let's back that up. You first.
I just was gonna say we need a 24 clock countdown sound in the background as he types.
Yeah.
Dude.
24-hour stream of him writing, just sweating every
Yeah.
few minutes, wiping it off his brow, and going, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have
I'm gonna die.
I got lucky, man. I can't win again."
Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, and if you lose, you actually have to play Punch Out or something with Uwe Boll taking Mike Tyson's place.
Oh my god. No, actually, my next example though of a spiritual successor, I think it's one that you guys will actually have played. Now, have you guys
Sorry.
played Mario RPG?
Super Mario RPG. No.
I'm very disappointed to report that I have not played it, but I do have the ROM of it somewhere, and I will eventually be playing it when I'm not playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Neo, which is eventually.
Right. As you know, I understand all of us eventually. It'll happen. You know,
One day.
someday. So I have played the game. I haven't beaten it, but I've played enough of it to know it's incredible, and I've done a few of the boss fights and stuff. And I gotta say, Paper Mario is a worthy successor. The first one,
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, best in that franchise.
I started but got distracted by Thousand Year Door.
Wait, is it a spiritual successor?
Yes, to Mario RPG, yeah.
Oh,
RPG,
okay.
yeah.
Mario
It
does
is, it's not a
continue the
sequel,
story
but
directly,
it is.
but
Understood.
It is the next Mario game that was an RPG with action mechanics to break up the turn-based monotony, so to speak.
I heard
yeah.
that South Park, the Fractured Butthole, was a really good RPG.
it is.
I played Stick of Truth, and it was really fun. I have one big complaint about Stick of Truth, and it's that there's collectibles that you can miss and never go back for.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry for
And
distracting.
other than that, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I haven't played the new one, The Fractured Butthole, but Stick of Truth was one of the best RPGs I've played in a while, and it's from Obsidian, so.
And honestly, like, if South Park isn't your brand of humor, I totally understand. It's, it's
I don't even
edgy,
like
it's
South
raunchy,
Park,
whatever.
but I had a great time with the RPG.
You know what? You just were the glowing recommendation I was looking for. I was gonna say you don't have to like it, as long as it doesn't offend you so much you can't, handle it, which is fine. It's worth playing just as a fucking RPG. And you kind of hit the nail on the head there.
I will say this: there is a point where it becomes unbalanced as hell if you understand how to exploit the status effects. But every RPG
It wasn't
has some
necessarily
degree
very
of exploitation.
difficult, but I had a lot of fun with it.
If you start stacking bleed in that game, then you're just going to auto win. FYI.
Yay,
Yeah, dude,
bleed.
I
just-
played as a
get-
Jew. That was part of my skill set. It was perfect.
Dude, you just get the caltrop weapon early on, and you just start bleeding everything to death, and it just hits you like, I can do this for the whole game. So you just
I'm a
start getting
god.
weapons that have bleed. Yeah, it's that easy.
But yeah,
Paper
so
Mario was a very, very good.
You okay if I jump in
RPG.
there, throw in a couple of my suggestions? For
Do
you?
I
it.
would love it if you did.
Okay then.
only if they're amazing.
If not, you'll be banned for life.
If only
First
I
on
had
my
the
list was actually a game we were discussing before the show, Path of Exile. I
okay.
was a huge
Oh,
Diablo fan
good-
growing
good
up,
call.
And
I'm starting that soon.
as far as Diablo 3 goes, it was underwhelming when it launched. They improved things with Reaper of Souls. They took a step back with Necromancer because we were just getting a returning old class instead of a major expansion for that.
Right.
So we got one good expansion that made up for the weak launch, and the game's not been doing well for me since. Path of Exile, however, I don't think it's ever had a bad point for me. Like, I did not play it from the start, I'll admit that, but
Now, from somebody like me who I enjoy the idea of action RPGs, no matter what. Like, I'm talking like anywhere from like a hack and slash style one to a Diablo style, like very PC based one. I just like the idea of, action based, like real time mechanics, but the sense of progression and loot and feeling like you're doing something long term. I hear that Path of Exile is so great because none of that stuff is locked behind a paywall. It's free to play,
you're getting
and
Path of
90%, the way I heard it described today in just a random Steam review, is that it's 90% cosmetic and 10% item storage limitations.
I'm not a big cosmetics guy. I think it's mostly just convenience from what I remember. It's like you're paying for extra storage slots, basically.
Right. And how much can you get away with not doing that?
I haven't played it. I've been playing it for years. I haven't spent a dime.
That's incredible.
Do you?
That's
I'm-
ridiculous.
I'm down to join you guys in Path of Exile. Like, there's
Yeah.
a while ago,
No,
I
it is
really want to
truly
try
free to play.
it. Cool. Maybe. Oh, we should stream that.
Us being idiots and learning Path of Exile? Hell yeah.
And like have Chris.
Because I don't know
teach
about
us the
you, Eric.
ways.
I am not good at Diablo. I don't pretend to be good at Diablo.
Oh, same here. I suck, dude.
Yeah, I have a very good understanding of what makes an RPG an RPG. Of course, I know fucking
Loot.
everything about RPGs, but I'm not good at like the really micromanaging stuff in a lot of them. So
I'm
Well,
just
then you're
gonna
good
be
company then,
interesting.
because I'm rusty as hell. I haven't played
All
those games in
right.
ages.
awesome. We have a squad. Wait, how big are the squads? 4 people? Or
yeah, Chris, I don't know how many people can play in a party.
I only played by myself. I don't know.
Oh man,
Forever
Wait,
alone.
wait. Can someone Google it?
Yeah. One
No,
second.
because that would be a lot of fun. I would love that. Yeah, because I have a bunch of groups of friends who want to play, and like I was like, now's the time. So I forgot it was free to play, and I went on Steam. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can budget for this. Oh, free.
Up to 6 players per group.
Okay,
That's
cool.
fantastic. Let's see. I have another weird one. We have Ghouls and Ghosts. Are you all familiar with?
That's
Oh,
a
oh,
successor?
No. Well, there. It has a successor.
Oh.
Oh wait. He's Ghouls and Ghosts, and then you mean Ghosts and Goblins, and then Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts?
Those are sequels. Yes.
Oh man.
Now, do you know the spiritual successor?
Pokemon.
Yes.
I heard a theory. I can't talk on it because I've never played Mother 3, but I hear theories apparently that Pokemon is a spiritual successor to Mother 3.
What?
And
Wow.
I don't know if I like that comparison
Uncanny.
because I don't know much about Mother 3, but I know enough to know it doesn't really add up.
Oh,
But
apparently,
I could be wrong.
because I heard about that because apparently Gygas at the end of Mother 3 looks almost like Mewtwo, like very almost vaguely
Oh,
like
okay.
Mewtwo.
Well, in any event, I'll be playing Mother 3 at some point, so I'll revisit that at a later date. But Maximo, Ghost to Glory, for the PS2.
I know that game. I haven't played it, but I've seen it at GameSpot a lot back in the day, and I know exactly what it is.
I played it once or twice. It's a good game, though. It's basically a 3D hack and slash adventure game that is exactly themed like Ghouls and Ghosts, except the main character Maximo is different. But when you get hit, you lose your armor. You're in your polka dot undies, the whole 9 yards.
The only way to play.
Yeah, you know the Grim Reaper is like a main antagonist, and like he sends monsters at you and stuff. It's very, very like Ghouls and Ghosts. But it, you know, again, I like the idea that you took Ghouls and Ghosts, and instead of making it a really hard like arcade platformer, you made it, you know, a challenging 3D adventure hack and slash.
You know
and
what?
It works.
A game I really liked that was a 3D hack and slash adventure game was Castlevania.
Curse of Darkness.
Curse of Darkness.
I had a feeling you were gonna bring that up, and yeah, that was the. I remember people giving that game a whole bunch of crap or calling it very mediocre.
Castlevania is my favorite series of all time. And
Just putting it out there.
Just throwing that out there. I hate Lords of Shadow.
Same.
They should be ashamed of themselves. It's a terrible series.
Agreed.
Okay. Devil's advocate here. Lords of Shadow is not a terrible game if you're imagining it as God of War German mythology edition.
It was still pretty bad though.
Ripoff, and it doesn't have sparkly vampires. That was all I needed at the time.
But anything related to it, Mirror of Fate, they're all bad. But I think that the other 3D games get a bad rap. Castlevania 64 is not very good, but it's not terrible either, in my opinion. It's just meh. That's its biggest crime.
Meh.
And I think that the PS2 3D ones were actually pretty decent.
I just say Curse of Darkness was like 100% one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah,
I really liked the visuals in it. They were a little too dark, like in the fact that it was literally too hard to tell what was going on a little bit. But the art style was very, very nice.
Yeah, I actually borrowed Eric's copy of Lords of Shadow, not Lords of Shadow, Curse of Darkness. I'm very sorry for confusing them. But, Curse of.
It's okay. I'm not offended.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, because I bought it a while back, and it actually did end up having a lot of fun with it, and I never understood why so many people consider it to be not so good.
Quick question.
Because it doesn't have the same emphasis on platforming. Like as far as Lords of Shadow go, Lords of Shadow is to Castlevania what DMC was to the Devil May Cry franchise.
Yeah,
That's the best way I can put it.
Except there aren't any edgelord fuck you the Devil Killer jokes.
But what was the quick question?
Oh, quick question. You remember the pumpkin familiar in Curse of Darkness? Not Curse of Darkness. Yeah, Curse of Darkness.
No, I didn't get that far actually.
Oh, okay.
But go on.
Oh, there was like this pumpkin familiar that was completely useless that I could never figure out what he could do. He was like a little kid walking around with a pumpkin head, and he would like, instead of fighting, he would trip on his own feet. And I felt like if you fed him enough food, he would like evolve into something really amazing. But
it could be a joke. It could be an Easter egg. Castlevania has its own neat little share of Easter eggs for sure.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm feeling if you maxed out that familiar, that he would end up being the strongest one in the game.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Probably
too.
something like that. Like when you get parts for a junk sword in a game, and it's like, oh look, I fixed it. Oh wait, I'm
It's
killing
God.
everything. Yeah.
Excalibur.
Which I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Yeah,
I have those moments all the time.
Well, while we're in spitting distance of Castlevania, one of the things on my list, it's bottom of my list because it's not out yet, but proposed, Bloodstained Ritual of Night.
Oh,
so excited.
Yeah.
Bloodstained.
My man.
I can't get excited for it after Mighty Number 9. I was looking forward to Mega Man even more, but I want it to be good. I want to believe.
I love Mega Man. I love Castlevania more. So this is the last test of me throwing my money at a franchise.
yeah. Don't go breaking my
Successor.
heart.
Yeah, but I trust Ego way more than I trust
One dude.
fucking Inafune. And people I know have played builds of it, and it's really good, and I just want it to be good. That's all.
When's the date? When is it supposed to come out?
It got pushed back a little further, which is fine.
I think it's coming out spring next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last I heard it was coming out in March, but it probably got pushed back a little.
Yeah.
Googling it now.
Yeah, March 2018.
March 2018.
Okay. I can wait.
Fine by me as long as it's fucking good.
Guys, I have to say, when Monster Hunters comes out, you're not going to hear from me for a while.
No,
you got
no,
my
I'm
collector's
going to
edition.
hear from
Okay,
you
yeah.
because I'm going to be sucked into it with you.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying that's the only way you can communicate with me is
Is
through the
by
game.
hunting monsters with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn very tribal and start grunting. We're like, oh, dragon! We must hunt.
Eric, man, you gotta go outside. It's been 3 months, man.
No! The
I
world
must
calls
farm
me.
Rathalos more for my armor.
Goddamn red dragons.
No, I'm really excited for that. We should definitely stream Monster Hunter.
I
What
would.
platform are you guys getting it on? PC?
PC, man.
I pre-ordered for PS4.
No!
Dude, it's okay.
It was
Keep
the
all your
only collector's
collector's edition
edition I still
shit
had in
and then
stock.
just sell the disc.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, did you see the thing I sent you?
Thing you sent me.
It was a skin for Zero Horizon skin for Monster Hunter?
Oh, I have to look at that.
It looks so good. Your cat is now a robot. I was a big fan of it. By the way, guys, how long has this been going on for? I have not been keeping track.
I didn't have a timer run.
It's been
think
like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're just about ready to wrap up.
Alright, cool.
It's been an hour 15, so if we want to do the wrap ups now, let's do it.
Okay, guys. Pete, you start off with since you are our guest today.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's enough time today.
I mean, well, I'm disappointed that we weren't able to talk about how Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen is the greatest movie of all time, but hopefully, hopefully next time.
One of these days, I'm going to commit to the joke and just leave. You know what?
Well, okay.
R.I.P.
Rip. So, Chris, you have anything you want to say?
Loading.
Loading.
I'm sorry, I don't have an interactive demo to go with that.
I think I accidentally broke the stream.
Thanks, guest.
I guess in short, the things that are worth waiting for are not going to make you wait. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, I can't just leave on an inspirational note. I have to have a bad joke. Come back to me.
Okay, Taylor.
Best loading screens. This is just my general overall final opinion. It came from the PS1 era, and I don't think anything will probably ever change that. I'm a little bit stuck in my opinion on that. Also, need better horror movies.
Need better what?
Horror movies.
Oh, 100%.
Like true horror, not just like the same reused stuff over and over again.
Agreed. My final point, we need more cheesy kung fu movies. We need 4D interactive loading screens. And I guess that's it.
Okay. Now for my actual final thoughts. Yes, we need more
Pylons.
yeah, more pylons, and we need more mystery movies that make you want to bust out the thinking emoji more often. And best loading screens is probably Okami. Probably mostly because I didn't really think too much about what my actual one is. As I'm just gonna go along with the flow because I'm very bad at having my own opinions.
Okay, Chris, did you come up with something cheesy?
I guess my closing notes are I want action movies like they were in the 80s. I want sci-fi movies with low action. We only have so many ex machinas. And I guess my Deus Ex Machina will be that I will probably cough and sneeze myself into a collapse and try to wake myself up for next week.
Well, that's a great way to end the stream then. Thank you guys for listening / watching if you're watching the stream. And see you